Good evening and welcome to OmniBros live on a Monday. We had an interesting pre-chat, I can tell you that. So we're all wired up. I am Omnidog from Omnidog's Vault, and tonight we are reviewing Letter 44 and previews, reads, and hauls. So my co-host tonight from the Omnibus Collector himself, Ryley Mo. Ryley, how's it going?
I'm doing well, man.
Good.
Really well.
Sounds like you've recovered from our Pop-Tart episode.
I had no recovery to do at all.
I did.
I ate like 3 more Pop-Tarts that night and then went to bed.
You're an animal. You're a Pop-Tart animal.
I love Pop-Tarts.
From Near Mint Condition, Omar. Omar, how's it going, buddy?
Good, good. Good to be in good company with you guys to talk about a book. Comic books.
Right on, man. Comic books are fun. And from Gabe Infinity Watch, the Infinity Watchman himself, Gabe.
Infinity Watchman. I like that. Infinity Watchman. That's pretty cool. I'm doing good, man. It's good to see you guys. I'm glad to see Ryley's alive.
I haven't seen you in a long time.
I had a similar story that Ryley shared. I didn't get a chance to share with you guys, but I had a similar experience just yesterday. So,
yesterday you had.
Yeah. So I know how Ryley feels, and I almost felt like that happened to me because I was chuckling at him about it.
Gabe, you're not in your 20s anymore, dude.
I know, man. Jesus, whatever happened to the good old days? I was thinking about that earlier. I was like, what is it from my childhood that I really missed doing? And I had to think about it.
Stamina.
No, you know what? I don't do it. I can't do it much anymore. It's probably because of the kids. But I used to just come home from school or work when I was younger. I would turn on a DVD commentary, just back before podcasts and stuff like that. And I just listen to movie commentaries and draw. That was kind of my how I spent my afternoons younger.
That was your go-to place?
That was my go-to place, yeah.
Speaking of go-to places, where is the go-to place to buy cheap comic book collected editions? There,
easy Captain Segway.
Look at that Captain Segway over here.
It's what I do.
That would be InStockTrades.com, where you can get up to 50% off your collected editions. An extra 2% can be added for loyalty discounts. They just had a sale that gave you an extra 3% off DC Comics. Every quarter is an Omnibros Live discount code. That's right, Omnibros Live. These guys and me. We give you a discount code. Over $50 in the United States gets you free shipping. Still don't know how they pull that off. Fabulous service, fabulous packaging. That's InStockTrades.com.
And our discount code is going to be a while before we have one again. People were asking me earlier.
It's every quarter. So every 3 months.
Just like last month, so it'll be another couple months.
Yeah.
And
I think, but they do loyalty discounts of 2%, and then they did that recent, like all of DC books were an extra 3% off. So they do things like that. So speaking of in-stock trades, they were the folks that were kind enough to send us review copies of Letter 44. This is the... Actually, you know what? Let Ryley kick it off, because this was his pick. He was like, I'm really excited about reviewing this book.
It's a beast of a book. It's huge.
It is huge. It is the size... Would you guys say it's the size of 6 Gun, right? Like the 6
It's
Gun.
larger than an Absolute, that's for sure.
Yeah, so it's as big as the 6 Gun Gunslinger edition.
Yeah, it is a little bit bigger than an Absolute. Even Absolutes in their slipcase is a little bit shorter than this book. So it is definitely a good-sized beast of a volume. I was excited, and now I'm a little hesitant now that everyone's read it. I'm worried about everyone being like, God damn it, Ryley.
No, don't worry about us. Go with what you think.
Stand your ground, man.
I was really excited. I started reading this book back when it first came out. I actually dug up this copy of issue 1 that I had signed by Charles Soule. He wrote on there, "Space, Ryley, space." I met him here in Austin, 4 years ago when I first moved out here. He was doing a signing over at that place I go to sometimes, Austin Books and Comics. I also got Red Lanterns signed by him, and I got Thunderbolts signed by him, and I also had a copy of his first issue on Swamp Thing signed by him, but I sold the comics as a lot. So I'm a big fan of Charles Soule, and if you are watching the video, because I know Charles Soule on was it Twitter? He retweeted the image of that Geo put out there, the thumbnail. So if he's watching the video, if you remember me, that's awesome. If you don't, I was the guy who said that your Swamp Thing is my favorite next to Alan Moore. So maybe you remember that. Anyway, so this has been a long time coming. Finally, they decide. I know. Brown knows. They finally decided to put this series into a series of nice, giant, as we have just opined about, hardcovers. There should be 3 of these babies in total, each of them having 12 issues. I believe the series wrapped at 36 issues. I've still yet to read about the last 12 or so. I fell behind on it. So yeah, the first one collects a good dozen issues, plus there's a nice chunk of supplemental material at the back of the volume, collecting a bunch of different covers. This is the amount of supplement. There's covers, sketches, commentary, all that kind of stuff. There's scripts for the back, and then or for the first issue, I believe. And then at the very back, it shows you the actual physical volumes, and at the bottom it says volumes 2 and 3 will be coming in the future. This volume's cover price is a solid $59.99 US. I don't remember exactly what the price is on IST, but I believe it's about a 30% discount for Oni books. The plot for the book, just a rough rundown. Letter 44 refers to a letter that is written between each president leading into the next president. So this follows the 44th president coming into office, and he gets a letter from the 43rd, and it basically runs down all this stuff about, you know, you might disagree with the way that I ran the country, you might disagree with all the different things that I did, but I want you to know that, you know, there's something out there that's important that you should know about. There's kind of aliens out there. And you just all of a sudden in the first issue, you find out that there are aliens that have been orbiting the somewhere in the distance of Earth, and that there's some sort of a satellite out there, and there's a crew of people that have been on a ship kind of investigating that satellite, and they've been doing that for a solid amount of time now. And nobody outside of a very select few people in the government are actually aware of the fact that this crew exists. And so now all of a sudden our new president is aware, and it's his job to start dealing with it, and you know what he's going to do from that you know kind of clandestine political standpoint. And the price, by the way, on in-stock trades, if you order it without any sort of loyalty discount, 30% off, like I said, for $41.99. Anyway,
yeah, and I put the link in the chat for everybody.
Oh, awesome!
Wanted to check it out.
So yeah, that's a quick rundown of the book. I suggested it because when it was, you know, coming out, I was like, cool, a big hardcover for a book that a lot of people might not have looked at, by a creator that I really love and has been getting a lot of really good work at the big publishers. This is one of his earlier pieces, and it's really interesting because it comes from the perspective of it's a very like sci-fi political thriller type thing. And he's very familiar with politics. He works in law, as well as being a comic writer. Charles Soule is I think he's an immigration attorney. So he has some experience with law and stuff. And he's in a rock band, plays guitar. So he's, you know, all around balanced. But anyway, that's my quick rundown of the book. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it as much as I did when it was first coming out. Please don't break my heart. Someone go first.
I'll go first.
Well,
So
let me down gently.
So I really, really enjoy the concept where I had no idea what this was about at all. I am not as big a fan of Charles Soule as you are. I don't have anything signed by him, or I have never met the man. But I have read a lot of things by him. They're kind of hit and miss. So I didn't know what to expect from this. I know it was independent work. And I really, really liked it from the get-go. I thought issue 1 was really, really kick-ass. I thought, while I find President, what is his name, Blades kind of boring, I kind of like his wife, and I like the other members of his cabinet too. I think they're pretty badass. But what really interests me is, of course, the space saga that's going on, where 9 people were sent up to space and only 8 remain. And you know, there's this whole mystery of like what these aliens are, what's up there, what's the chandelier. I really, really like that aspect. I know Jess probably hates to hear this, but it reminds me a lot of the way manga is written. Like, very independent and aliens in space and mixing, you know, sci-fi with politics. I think it's great.
There's
Now,
no tentacles in it, though.
mm,
Oh, wait,
have
no,
a
wait.
manga.
Kind of,
We need to
kind
have
of
a manga
tentacles.
jar. Every time you mention manga, you have to put $1 in the jar.
so that being said, those are
Yeah,
the
you
things
got
that I
super chat.
enjoyed
It's
about it.
$1 every time you talk about manga.
Yeah, go fuck your super chat.
Fuck you, super chat.
That's what I liked about it. What I didn't like about it was the art that much. The art was a little rough at times.
Mhm.
So this panel, for example, is supposed to be a very seducing sexual panel. This one here, and it kind of looks like he is about to put a wrestling move on this chick and about to break her neck.
I kind of agree
Why not
with the
both?
art. I kind of agree with the art there.
I
but
mean, you know, if you're into that, that's cool. But I don't think that's what the writer intended. There are a lot of, and it's weird because some of them look, you know, that actually looks like a pretty decent panel. The angles and the way the character, the family looks. But then there are other times that, man, the panels are so obscure. I don't know what the hell their bodies are doing. Like a pregnant woman should not be able to twist that way.
spoilers.
No, wait,
Spoilers for issue
we're
1.
going to talk about a little bit of spoilers here, right? I didn't really like the design of the aliens. I'm going to show you a little bit. I'm not going to show you everything. I thought it left something to the imagination. I mean, I get it, you know, mathematical equations and all that and shapes, but I don't know. I've seen better designs from other artists for something like that.
Did we read a different book? Because that wasn't really the aliens. That was like their drones.
Okay, you want me to show the aliens? All right, fine. I'll show the aliens. I didn't want to because you were like, spoilers. All right, speaking of tentacles, Gabe, apparently you didn't read the book. There. Tentacles. They look like the fucking Quintessons from Transformers.
They kind of do, man. That's what I was thinking, man. I was like, ball week one, I'll week Ninny bomb, but no.
Hell yeah. You know what's up. I forgive
know
you for
what's up.
everything else you said earlier.
That's right.
But
You
I
said
like
which ones are the aliens?
I like the whole mystery of the President 43 creating these 2 other wars so he can fund this project for defending Earth. Because he starts off his letter like, hey, you might think I'm an asshole, but really this is what's been going on. This is where all the money has been going.
Well,
Now, then you're like,
that's not how he funded it.
then that kind of God damn it, Gabe. How did he fund it?
He funded it by doing the whole housing market crash with the mortgages.
Right, but he used the 2 wars to cover up a lot of things, like the dead soldiers and all that. That was in
He used the 2 wars to train the best of the best in case the aliens came down to visit us.
Well, the best of the best kind of suck because all they ended up doing was banging each other. Spoilers.
Well,
That's what happens in wars.
this has become an interesting discussion about the book, but I will say that it definitely shows that the series.
That baby. I get it. I know the baby is messed up, but I don't know, man. I don't know about this art.
Spoilers, there's a baby in the book.
What else has Albuquerque drawn? And I think I got the wrong Albuquerque because I was excited when I saw that name.
It's not that Albert.
No,
This was his adopted stepbrother, Melvin.
I mentioned last week on, I guess, I don't think it was a show you were on, but I mentioned that it was not Raphael.
That's who I thought it was, and I got excited. And then
It's Alberto Albuquerque.
That was the adopted brother. You're right.
The one part that got me, like all the other, wrestling in space, sex, and the demon baby, that's cool with me. But what really got me was right at the beginning of the book. He doesn't draw the back of the lapel on that collar right at all. Like it doesn't. This suit
That's what
does
got
not.
you.
Yes, this suit does not. That's not what a suit looks. It looks like he's wearing one of those button-up pajama tops.
What gets
They're fitted for. He's so buff. That's the thing. Is like. Okay, we're just.
He's a
This
boxer.
is like
He's a
full
boxer.
out spoilers.
He's a boxer. No, not really. So this was my
You're
biggest
showing stuff from later on in the book, though.
issue. like because Gabe was questioning me. The
Because
pregnant
you were
woman,
wrong.
tentacles ass. Anyway, the pregnant woman, the shape of her belly changes with every panel, and I'm like, how pregnant is this lady? Yeah, so there's a lot of that, and just obscure bodies. I don't know. I'm not a fan of this guy's artwork, and it almost really was a turnoff of the book for me. But I've talked enough. Gabe or Jess, why don't you guys go next?
I absolutely loved this. This is the first time I read the book. I heard about it a long time ago when it was coming out in singles. I never really got around to reading it, just because there's just so much going on already. But I think Charles Soule, I think this is his only creator-owned book he's ever done.
No, he's done a few.
Whatever it is, man, this book was I'm gonna just have to say it. This is probably one of my favorite books I've read in the last 5 years.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I thought it was fantastic. Yes. I agree with Omar. There's a lot of weird things. Not a lot, but there's a handful of weird off issues with the art, for sure. Especially that panel he showed with the sexy sex part, and they blacked out her boobs, but it made it look like she was wearing a bra. Weird stuff like that. There's some weird. I think maybe this might be just inexperience on Raphael's part, and there's certain things that he misses. But there's a lot of things in this book that he hit for an artist that not
Raphael. The other Ninja Turtle.
Albuquerque, excuse me. Yeah.
Alberto.
So there's a lot of things
Alberto is a
he
Ninja
does
Turtle?
hit. He does a lot of tech. He does animals. He does buildings. There's a lot of stuff in here that he's checking off. There's a lot of check boxes that he's hitting on here. I loved how there's so many different storylines kind of going on. You're following this brand new president who just stepped into office, dealing with, just kind of almost every other presidency. When the president changes, him having to deal with the bullshit that he's inherited from the last presidency, and moving forward with this new information about there being these aliens out in space. And we sent a crew out there 8 years ago, practically, to go, look for it, discover, and examine what's going on with this new alien race. There's just a lot of different topics that he's touched in this book that really just got kind of my mind thinking. Basically, with the crew in space, they basically made up their own new society in that spaceship, where I don't want to keep harping on the sex, but their relationship with one another is a single unified entity, practically. They're all taking care of the baby. They all claim the baby as theirs. There's really because if you think about it, it's really society that kind of tells us how our relationship should work with one another. It's just one man, one woman in a relationship. But in here, it's very just pansexual. Everybody's in for one another. Everybody has sex with each other because this is their society that they created. This is the rules that they made to survive in this mission that they pretty much feel they're never coming back from. So if you think about it, you get launched out into space with a group of people, you basically have your own world, your own society. And there's a lot of topics like that kind of just triggered me in my mind, and just kind of thought about, how that would be interesting and how different of a way Charles Soule is kind of interacting with these kind of characters. So you got the spaceship people, you got the new presidency, you got the old president in this book as well, still fucking around and causing trouble for the new president. Really, when it comes down to it, the presidency part is probably the most boring. Not going to use the word boring, but probably the least interesting storyline, because you get so much more going on with the space crew, the last president, and all the stuff that he's setting up in the background. You get all the new things with the new weapons and the new weapons of mass destruction that came out because of this. And you got every single issue ended on a cliffhanger. Mm-hmm. If I was reading this in singles, I'd go crazy. If I had hair, I would have pulled it out every issue, having to wait for the next one, because every single issue ended on a splash page cliffhanger that brought you in and wanted to continue each single issue afterwards. Each issue was better than the last, I felt. So that's basically my rundown of the story. So there you go. One of the best books I've read in the last 5 years.
That's
100%.
That's some high praise.
I will be getting volume 2 and volume 3. I cannot wait for those to come out.
I knew that he had done other indie or independent and small press work before, and just to give the actual info. So this series was published for, it looks like 35 issues from 2013 to 2017 by Oni, but before he did that, he also had, let's see, from SLG Publishing, 2 volumes of a series called Strongman, which was about a masked wrestler. At Image Comics, he had 2 4-issue miniseries called 27, which are about musicians and how everyone always dies at the age of 27. And then another series right now, or no, sorry, in 2013, he also did Strange Attractors, a 5-issue limited series at Archaea Studios. And right now he's been doing the ongoing at Image Curse Words with Ryan Brown.
I remember 27. That was a really cool book. I forgot about 27.
That's the premise of Jericho, right? The French book. Anyway, Jess, you've been really quiet, man. What did you think about this book? How much did you love it?
Let me start off by saying I love Charles Soule's Red Lanterns. I loved his Daredevil. I loved his Swamp Thing. I will say that as a precursor to the fact that I hated this book.
Oh wow!
I found it. First of all, I found the art to be not only really bad but repellent. It was off-putting. It was very. I just think that I don't know. I found the faces on and the proportion of all the figures in this book to be all out of whack. They were not proportionate at all, especially some of these scenes that were full body scenes. I did not care for the rendering of the faces at all. It pulled me completely out of the book. But I can forgive a book if it has poor art, if it has a gripping story. And unfortunately, I found this to be extremely cliched, extremely full of comic tropes. I found the premise to be very interesting. I was excited with the idea that the predecessor to the president leaves him this letter that is just saying that we are not alone, and this is why I did that. As Omar did a rundown and Ryley did the rundown. It's an exciting premise. I just felt the execution was extremely poor. The conspiracies on Earth and the relationships of the people in space, to me, were completely cliched. I mean, the conspiracies on Earth were. I understand that we're supposed to suspend our disbelief when it comes to comics. I have an easier time believing in fractal aliens than I do with the First Lady sleeping with a congressman trying to get him to abandon his impeachment.
That was a little weird for me, too.
That took me really out of it. And then I felt like they were just stereotypes that I had seen before regarding the personalities in space and the people on the ground. So I love Charles Soule's writing. I love 27. I remember reading that book a long time ago, and I love that book. I haven't read Curse Words yet, but this was a huge disappointment to me, and I was really saddened that I didn't love it the way you guys did. I wish I could feel the way about it like Gabe does, that it was his favorite book, and I am not casting aspersions nor judging anyone except myself, that this book was a huge disappointment to me.
Well, Jess is wrong.
Well, thanks for being honest, Jess. Now we got to kick you out.
Jess will no longer be doing the show with us.
Just watch your pour root beer on it if you hate it so much.
Because it was a free copy, and I'm going to give it away in the group.
Good.
I want somebody else to enjoy it, and I realize that I am Mr. Optimistic. Omar thinks that I'm Mr. Sunny Disposition, that I don't hate anything, that I love everything. This is probably the first time in a long time I haven't liked a book. And I love Charles Soule and his writing, but this was not his best effort, in my humble opinion.
Oh, cool. I'm glad we got different opinions on here then.
That's that scene that you brought up. That one threw me off too. The first lady sleeping with the guy to get him to stop the impeachment of her husband. I don't know. That whole relationship was just strange. Like the people, I like his cabinet more than I do the president because I find the President Blade's kind of boring, which I guess is the character he's supposed to be. But yeah, that scene kind of threw me off. I didn't think that was happening so quick, and it happened like that too.
There was plenty of space in this book for there to be compelling characters and characters that I cared about. There was lots of room and space to develop them into a character that I cared about, and I didn't care about any of the characters.
Before we go any further, somebody in the group, they've been asking how big this book was, so I went and grabbed one of my absolutes. So this is Absolute Superman, and this is letter 44. It's a tad taller. I don't know if you can see that. Just a little bit taller. So it is bigger than an absolute.
And it is the absolute with the slipcase.
Yeah, that is All-Star Superman in the slipcase, and
yeah, it's bigger than absolute. I think it might be slightly smaller than the 6 gun because
you think
I
so?
I can get letter 44 to fit in my Kalex, but I can't get the 6 gun stuff to fit.
I can get the 6
my
guns.
6 guns in the top shelf, and I'd get that. But yeah,
Right,
I thought it was the same.
Margarita.
I thought it was the same. I thought it was the same size and dimensions. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'll probably pick up the rest because I'm curious to see where the story goes.
6 guns a little bigger.
Well, that's the what's it called though? That's the limited edition one. Yeah, that's the Gunslinger one.
Oh yeah, isn't that what we're comparing it to?
Yeah, but that's the limited edition one. There's a regular version that's out of the box if you open it.
Oh. I don't open my books.
Yeah, I know. It's okay.
So let's do this. Here's how it looks compared to a single issue. This is compared to everything we have. Here's what it looks compared to a single issue.
Well, let's not do that.
Here's what it looks compared to the Little Monsters movie on DVD.
Okay, that's the best comparison. I love that movie.
That movie's awesome, dude.
Why doesn't Boy play with himself? Anyway, I'm not gonna quote that fucking movie all night.
Got him, need him, got him. Yeah. Great.
So just looking at so we're comparing sizes. It's a big book.
We compare sizes on this show.
Yes,
yeah,
we do a
size
lot
matters around here.
We compare
just to look at size, you're definitely also, when it comes to price, you're paying for that premium format. The like I said, it's a $60 book. Discounted 30% on IST for $41.99. If you want to try the series but are not completely sold on it, which is absolutely fine, the first volume is a $10 book that collects the first like 5 or 6 issues, and that book is on IST for $7. So it's a nice little add-on for any package. That'll give you an idea of what to expect. If you enjoy it, but you still don't want to spend $41.99 because you don't think this beautiful hardcover is worth the investment, the following volumes of the series are $13.99 each. So it's definitely cheaper than the hardcovers, but if you read it, absolutely love it, or you've already read it and love it, I personally would recommend the hardcover. It's beautiful. It's similar to an absolute.
It's got a ribbon. The ribbon's the best thing in the world. I love ribbons.
It's got the ribbon. You don't have to grab a random piece of paper, a receipt, or a piece of toilet paper to shove in there as a placeholder, as a bookmark. It's just a beautiful book.
They make bookmarks, right? I don't know if you know this or not, and they're
called old bills.
Who uses toilet paper as a bookmark? That's awesome.
Hey, your boy reads his books on the toilet, and your boy needs something to bookmark his pages with. So I'm not.
I remember that
next time
I buy used books from you.
I don't read all of my books on the toilet.
And it's not used toilet paper.
Dude, your legs go to sleep after reading like the Conan Omnibus too, the Colossal.
Yeah,
Conan.
but I wouldn't be selling that one.
My legs go to sleep just texting you guys on the toilet.
This probably means you spent too much time.
Do we want to go more into the book? Do you want to go into more like the spoiler beats at all, or are we?
Well, I think for time's sake that we were supposed to only spend 20 minutes on the review,
Right.
and it's been 30 something, almost 40.
Yeah,
Well,
sure.
I will do the group a solid, the chat. If you would like to, if you're in the United States and you're interested in a copy of Letter 44, all you have to be willing to do is pay for shipping, and you can get this $60 book free from me. I will send it to you. If you want this book, you just have to pay for shipping. I'm not going to pay to ship it to you.
And shipping's $35.
Shipping is $60. If you are interested, put down your name. Okay, Philip Evans, you're out. Put your name and a number in the chat, and I will do a randomizer between 1 through 10. Yes, I will sign it and put the Omnidog stamp of disapproval in it.
Jess, that's really
no.
You're,
Speaking
What
of
is
signing, Charles Soule. Speaking of signing, real quick, Charles Soule is going to be in the store on the 8th, and I'm 100% going to suck him off and tell him how much I love this book and get him to sign it.
I really hope he's watching the show.
Oh man, and I'm going to ask him to come on the show and meet Jess.
Oh yeah. Well, Jess would be like, dude, I love everything you've done, but what happened on this book? And then, yeah, and then the rest of us are gonna be like, you're fucking awesome.
Well, I love everything else he did, so tell him that. I mean, Red Lantern
I was kind of
4
in the
through
same
6
boat
is
as,
awesome.
I was there with Omar, where he's really hit and miss with me on a lot of things. But yeah, I love this book though. Like it was so fun. Like I said, every issue ended in a cliffhanger, which we don't get anymore. There's really nothing that ties you into wanting to get the next issue or reading the next issue. And that was it with this the whole time. And the whole time I'm wondering, is the president going to announce? You know, is he going to reveal to the world that there's aliens? Like that was one of the first things his chief of staff or his advisor told him to do, and he wouldn't do it. And just stuff like that. It was just so much. Like the whole thing with the baby was really cool. I mean, everything with the aliens is really fun. There was so much going on all at once in this book that
I'm glad you got something that you enjoyed, man. That's cool.
Omar, in the chat over the weekend, you said you had a bone to pick with Ryley over this book. Do you remember that?
I was busting his balls.
Oh, okay.
Because he was really excited about getting us to read this book. So I was like, yeah, I think I was drinking. I was like, I'll route him up a little bit.
You think you were?
No, you're definitely drinking. You're always definitely drinking.
Probably. If the day ends with a Y, then I was probably drinking. But it was funny that it turned out to be you that had a problem with this book.
Yeah, Jess, who likes freaking everything.
And not only that, but he lives by the Ryley recommendations, right? Like, I mean,
oh my god,
he makes a living off of his YouTube channel by recommendations.
Living. I live on $7.50 a month.
If this was officially, because this was just a group recommendation. If this was an official one for Jess, this would have put me. This shatters my perfect streak.
I don't consider this a personal recommendation. This was just a suggested book that we read that Ryley suggested for the group. So
because
I an official recommendation.
I didn't choose this one and say Jess will love this one.
Third recommendation.
This was a group recommendation, so I don't consider it in your batting average.
I'll if you want to, I'll accept an asterisk next to my total if you want.
The Mark McGuire, Barry Bonds asterisk.
Yeah, but I mean, whatever. Next month, I kind of chose the next month too. I've been choosing a lot of our monthly review books, but just to get everyone hyped up, we're going to be talking about the Seven Soldiers Omnibus.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites. So,
I have no idea. I know nothing about that book. Absolutely,
I'm curious to know what you think, because it's one of those Morrison books that I think is it's not pretentious. It actually gets to the point, and I think it adds so many elements to these pre-existing characters that makes them so much more interesting.
One question though: does it have floating amniotic fluid in it?
I think it does. Frankenstein's in it.
We got that in letter 44.
Frankenstein's in it. So you never know. All right, what are we talking about next, gentlemen? Oh wait,
Well,
yes.
I'm gonna peace out because I'm only in it for the review, and I'm gonna tell you guys to screw off.
Hey man, we paid for 45 minutes of Ryley. We only. Are you rounding up?
I'm rounding up my time, man.
Okay,
I'm done. You guys, book me next time. Throw in an extra few bucks, maybe a second extra book or something like that. And I'll stick around. I'll stick around for you.
All right, man.
Maybe if all four of us like this book, but since Jess didn't like it,
now it's awkward. Yeah,
I'm feeling out of it, man. I'm not feeling the love tonight. Jess is usually 100%, and I'm just not feeling it.
Well, see, you shouldn't base your enjoyment on Jess's enjoyment.
Yeah, I'm learning that. I'm really learning.
I kind of do too, though. Jess isn't happy. Nobody's happy in this damn channel.
Ryley, thanks for joining us. It was great seeing you.
Thanks for reading a book that I liked and not liking it.
It had to happen once.
I guess.
No, this is good. I like that we're going to divide it here.
No, I do like the divide, but I expected this divide to be different.
You expected Omar to hate this book, didn't you?
No, I thought Omar liked it just because what he was saying in the chat. I thought maybe Gabe wouldn't like it, just to bust my balls or something.
Gabe wouldn't do that.
No, man.
But yeah,
balls on your teeth or the Pop-Tarts and stuff.
You can bust my balls for owning Daniel Way's Deadpool. That's just everyone else.
No, I'd rather bust your balls than having that Batman 66 on the bus.
Why are you gonna bust my? Who's?
What? That's a great omnibus.
Yeah, dude, I am so tempted to buy that damn omnibus because I've seen so many pictures on Instagram and on Facebook, and I'm like, man, it looks so sweet.
I'll pass on. I was never a fan of Batman 66 outside of hitting puberty.
Dude, like the chick that played Barbara Gordon, like put me through puberty.
Well, yeah, I think she's the one that triggered my puberty. I understand that.
Yvonne Craig.
Yeah. I met her back in Mid-Ohio Con in 2002, I think 2003, and I was so nervous about meeting. Well, she was at the time an older lady. She's passed away.
Did you hold your trapper keeper from your pants?
And I'm like, I so wanted to tell her. I'm like, you got me through so many lonely nights.
God bless.
Like, I have a sock at home that stands up now.
This isn't how I wanted to end the show tonight. Anyway, I'm gonna get out of here, and I'm glad that 3 out of 4 of us got to enjoy this book. That I honestly do consider awesome and a success, and a good track record for this book for as far as recommending it to new readers. And what else was I going to say? Oh, Gabe, please do get Charles Soule on the show because that would be fucking awesome.
I'll try my best. I'll hit him up for sure.
Okay. All right, guys. I'll talk to y'all later.
Be good, man.
Later, fool.
Thanks, Ryley.
Peace.
Yeah, have fun.
The winner of the book is the Clarknado.
Awesome. Awesome. Somebody from the
Clarknado,
chat.
you are the winner of letter 44 omnibus, lightly read, and just pay for shipping, and it's yours. A $60 value.
I gotta send a shout out to Clarknado as well. He's me and him got a transaction happening pretty soon. He's holding one of my only omnibus that I need that I'm looking for. He has one of my last ones.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And he found it for you?
Yeah, he put it up on the group.
And
Somebody tagged me on it and was like, "Hey Gabe, you still need this?" And I was like, "Fuck yeah, I still need this." And me and him worked out I don't have any cash right now, but he's holding it for me. So
Clarknado, right now.
He's always a good guy too. Like that guy, 100% in the group is probably one of the best dudes in the group.
He really is.
Clarknado?
I'm gonna
totally.
offer you $25 more than what Gabe is willing to pay you, and I can.
That's
Just,
cool, man. Go for it.
I'm gonna send it to Jess so he can pour root beer on it.
Don't do that. I really want that J. Michael Straczynski floor on the bus.
I know, because if I take it and rip it, you're gonna be like, "Oh, fucking Omar." But if Jess takes it and pours root beer on it, man, that's gonna break your little heart.
I don't have a little heart.
And this is why anybody just now tuning in
I'm bigger than you are.
thinks
My heart's
that,
bigger than
like,
you.
I'm an asshole, but I'm really not. That's all out of love.
I can tell.
I just can't wait to take a dump in an envelope and mail it to you.
At least it's not my chest. All right. What are we talking about next?
Well, we have
Not
all
again.
reads and or previews.
You're going to call it letter 44 when you mail it to me? Hauls, reads, and previews. Well, really quick, I've been reading Aquaman because that's my next reading thing for old reader, new readers. Based on our buddy Gio recommended this run, the Jeff Johns run. So I'm on
That's a good run.
I'm on the
Shout out
final
to Gio.
issues. Always an OmniBro. So yeah, I'm on the final issues of this, and we're going to talk about it tomorrow on my show. That's what
Gio's been killing it on those thumbnails he's making for the show.
Yes.
That's
As far as pickups, most of my money went to this monstrosity. Here, this is.
Oh, you motherfucker, man! I want that so bad.
This is Masterpiece Dinobot from Beast Wars. I know it's not an omnibus, but fuck, it should be. The damn thing costs 2 times as much as the damn omnibus. All the way from Japan, MP41 Dinobot.
I think it's bad, dude. I love Beast Wars.
What is that?
This is a masterpiece. This is Transformers for collectors. So,
And will you take it out of the box and put it together?
not. Oh my God, no, not right now. I hate Transformers. These
It's
things.
not
I
a
would.
model. It's
I
not
would-
Gundam.
I am known as the guy in the group of the Transformers that I would pay somebody to come to my house and transform these things for me because
Dibs.
I hate doing that. Look, he comes with the disc, dude, the golden disc.
Yeah, I know. It's bad, dude. I really want the Megatron too when it comes out.
Well, that thing
Well,
is
okay.
like $300, man.
I
What
know,
are we-
dude. You gotta-
what are we
it's like
talking
a
about?
flood.
What
You're
is
gonna
that
dumpster
thing?
for it.
So Beast Wars was kind of a follow-up to Transformers. It didn't start off as a follow-up. Like it was just it was his own show in the 90s. But then they were like, no, let's tie it in more to Transformers. So a lot of the G1 characters show up in it, and it has a lot of ties to the original Transformers, the cartoon. So it's kind of a sequel, a good successor to Transformers. It's really good. And it came
It's
out
a
in the
prequel
90s.
to it.
It was done by Mainframe. Yeah, it was Gabe. It was done by Mainframe Animation, the same guys that did Reboot, things like a Canadian computer graphics animation company. They did they did the very first CG video. Oh hell, you probably watched MTV at that time, Jess. Remember
When?
the very first computer graphics video? It was
Sure.
what was it?
Oh, I don't know. You mean the Dire Straits one?
Yeah, that's it. They did that music video.
Oh, okay, cool.
So that's
Money
what they
for
were known
nothing.
for. Money for
You know,
nothing. That's it.
Beast Wars is really cool. I remember watching it as a kid and thought it was really fun. But when they tied it into G1, they
Whole new
they found the arc in that whole episode with them trying to like save basically a dormant Optimus Prime, and that whole thing was that was it, dude. It sold me out. I love that series now because of that.
So this is a Dinobot. Will you display it or
Yeah,
leave it in the
yeah.
box?
He will go on my shelves. Here, that's where my masterpiece shelves are. Like all my masterpieces are up there.
Oh, okay.
I only have one masterpiece. I have Soundwave. That's the only.
Yeah,
one I
you
have.
showed it to me.
Yeah.
So that's where he will go. He will
I showed
go.
Omar my Soundwave.
He did. I'm a big fan of Soundwave and Shockwave. But that's all I read. That was my pickup. I had a few books.
Real quick, speaking of Transformers and Shockwave, I really want to. There's a interview I was listening to earlier with was it Bob Budiansky, the guy that wrote the Transformers comic
Oh,
for
did you
Marvel?
link the Marvel Epic podcast? That guy?
Yeah.
I like that guy.
podcast.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to be on it sooner or later.
Oh, cool, man. Cool.
But yeah, he interviewed shout out to Curtis from Epic Marvel Podcast, but he interviewed Bob Budiansky, who was the writer of the Marvel Transformers, and basically created the Transformer mythos and its background and its world and everything.
It's really cool. I got to interview Jim Shooter a little bit on my channel, and it was basically him and Bob. They were given, this art, and they were like, okay, come up with names.
The toys and how to make up the names and
Come up with names and stories and things like that. So it's really cool to listen to that kind of stuff, man. It's amazing.
But they were talking about how different the Marvel comic series is compared to the cartoon, and how like, Shockwave is like the baddest motherfucker. Like that guy shows up,
yes,
and just wrecks shop on everyone.
He still kind of is in the IDW run too. I mean, he's still a badass in the IDW run.
I need to get the rest of those IDW ones.
There is
I only have the first 3.
Oh, there's a huge twist at the end of Phase 1, towards the end of Phase 1, when the revelation of who Shockwave was the entire time. You're like, what the fuck? It's awesome.
I mean, dude, I love that Transformer.
One of the best moments in Phase 1. Phase 1, Phase 2 blows everything Phase 1 out of the water, but Phase 1 had its moments, and that was one of the best moments to me.
So my question to you, Omar, the reason I brought it up is, aren't those Marvel issues reprinted by IDW in like those really nice hard cases, hardcovers?
Let me see if you can see. I don't know how well
it's the purple ones, right? Yeah.
So there are
purple. Yeah.
There are no hardcovers, but if you see over here in the middle shelf, they're Transformer Classics. They're the ones in the black.
Oh. What's those ones behind the Optimus Prime bust? What one of those?
That's what I'm pointing at. That's the Transformer Classics. On the left-hand side is the black ones, the black spines.
No, the other one.
And then on the right-hand side are the UK Classics.
Oh, okay.
And those are they're fucking not finished yet. I have had that's the one that I joke about. I've had Volume 6 in my Amazon cart for 2.5 years.
No, what I'm asking is the hardcovers you have next to Phase 2. What one of those? What's that?
Those are that's Phase 1. That's the ones you got.
No, I don't. I have Phase 2.
Oh, okay. Then that's Phase 1. Yeah. Let me see it again.
But that's not the Marvel. That's not the Marvel stuff.
No. There was a rumor that they were going to do the Marvel stuff in hardcovers, like the G.I. Joe classics, but they pushed out because
So it's only available in the classic trades.
Yeah, and you want to get those. There are 2 versions of the classic trades. There's one that leaves out all the Spider-Man stories, all the what is her name, Haywire, whatever Marvel created character it was. They literally black her out of the panels. This one has the complete. It's got the Spider-Man story. It's got the movie stuff. This is the version. It's 7 volumes, and that's the ones you need.
Fernando, the answer to your question is Dark Knight by Norm Breyfogle, Volume 2. That's the answer to your question.
What was the question?
Which of these 2 HCs are you most waiting for? Marvel Universe Omnibus by John Byrne, Volume 2, or Legends of the Dark Knight by Norm Breyfogle, Volume 2?
The answer is neither.
I'm with Jess. Legends of the Dark Knight by Norm Breyfogle, Volume 2. Yeah, Clarknado, that Funko documentary on Netflix is dope.
I don't watch it. I'm not a Funko guy.
Good. I'm not either, but it's nice to know the history of the toy. I like toys in general.
Yeah. No, like the Toys Made Us. That's great. I love that.
Yeah, but I didn't skip the Barbie episode because
I do. The Barbie stuff was one of the more interesting things I've seen, especially that chick's weird ass chair she had.
The vagina chair.
The weird master chair. Yeah.
Once you see it, I'm sure.
Dude, you can't take your eyes off of it, dude.
People have made memes about it. I'm sure.
I was so fucked up when I watched that. I was like, "What's going on in the background of this lady's apartment?" But no.
Okay.
This might be I'm sorry if I'm cutting you off, but you talked about like toy documentaries. I watched that Power of Grayskull.
Oh, it's out. Damn, I need to watch
It's on Netflix now. I kickstarted it. So I have like the DVD Blu-ray, but it's on Netflix now. It's on Netflix now, and it's awesome. It's way better. I mean, if you saw the Toys That Made Us episode about He-Man, it goes like it's like 2.5 hours or something. I might be lying. It might be not that long, but it just goes into so much more depth. It goes into so much more stuff that I think is missing on those Toys That Made Us stuff. They don't talk to collectors.
I feel like toys, as much as I like Toys That Made Us, I feel like it feels like a long YouTube channel episode. And it never feels to me like I'm actually watching something that people with money made.
Well, the thing is, with Toys That Made Us, I think if they stopped doing like the dramatization, hiring actors and stuff, they could probably do more, more interviews and maybe talk to collectors. But the He-Man, the Power of Grayskull was great.
I'm gonna watch it.
They talked about the movie. They talked about how the TV show was made, and like there's so much more in depth. It's a way more well-rounded documentary than Toys That Made Us.
I own 2 of the Dark Horse hardcovers. There's one more that I'm missing, the mini comics one, and I'll probably pick up. But those are great if you haven't picked those up.
Yeah.
If you were a fan of He-Man, then it's Dark Horse, and you can probably find them fairly cheap, especially in stock trades had them at one time I think at 50% off. Just knock.
Who's the guy that does Hack Slash?
Tim Silly, isn't it Tim Silly? I don't own Hack Slash.
I think that's him. But he is a huge He-Man fan. Like he is like one of the like go-to experts for He-Man. I think he did like a couple hardcover like retrospective of like the toys and the comics and stuff like that. So
Huh. I didn't know that.
yeah.
Yeah, and it is Tim Silly.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jess, we hijacked the conversation.
Not at all. I think it's interesting to listen to you guys talking about that stuff. I don't have anything to add to it, but I still think it's interesting to listen to.
Yeah, it's the first time Omar and Omar yelling at each other.
Yeah, for real. We're always like, it's always a pissing contest between us.
Yeah.
I will say, if I had money, the one thing I've always wanted to do was make a documentary about the voices of my childhood. Was going around and just interviewing all these voice actors from the cartoons that I grew up with, like in the 80s. So a friend of mine is actually a producer in Hollywood, and I've like kicked it off to him, and he's like, "Oh man, that sounds awesome," but he's also like a lot younger than I am, so I don't think he's hit that age of nostalgia yet.
Mm.
Who knows? Maybe. But yeah, man, I've always been interested in what like
do it, Omar.
The people that sang the songs, you know, because every cartoon we grew up with had an intro song. And
well,
now
every cartoon we grew up with was basically a commercial for the toys too.
Yes.
At least in the 80s it was.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the way they were
80s cartoons are nothing but toy commercials.
Which
That's
I'm
a fact.
completely fine with.
Yeah, that's why they had to throw in all those like stupid like PSAs in the back, like don't eat random poop you find on the floor, that kind of stuff. So
all right, man.
Sandwiches.
So, are we?
Yes.
You?
What did you pick up, buddy?
What did I pick up? I picked up. Let's see, 2 volumes of Rose by Meredith Finch, Volume 1, Volume 2. I forget where I read about this, but I read good reviews on it, so I got it, and it is got really beautiful art, and it's like a sword fantasy type of epic starring strong female protagonists, so it's right up my alley, and the
Meredith Finch.
art is really...
Is that David Finch's wife?
I think it is.
Yeah, she's
She's the one that did Wonder Woman?
She was at the store. I can tell you
She
guys
was?
the story. Nah, she was there with David Finch.
Is she the one that wrote Wonder Woman then?
Her and David did Wonder Woman together for a while. She's doing Rose now.
Well, this is better.
I hope it's better than that.
This is better than that.
Okay.
Yeah, I read really good reviews on it. I also read Fariha's review of Gamora, so I picked it up. I'm looking forward to this because I think Gamora is awesome.
That guy right there, Chichetto, does not get enough cred. That guy's an amazing artist and should be doing a flagship book for Marvel. I love that.
I'll focus on me and show you some of the art of Chichetto in Gamora.
He's the guy that did Rucka's Punisher. He's just an amazing artist that for some reason doesn't get like as much recognition as I think he deserves. I don't know why.
This Gamora is the movie Gamora, right? That's kind of the backstory of the movie Gamora. Okay.
From Bibliopedia, once upon a time, Gamora was Thanos' heartless pet assassin and favorite adopted daughter. Today, she is the backbone of the Guardians of the Galaxy, putting her life on the line to defend the innocent throughout the universe. What was it that transformed her from being a tool of her oppressor to a champion of the powerless?
Pop-Tarts.
Chocolate fudge Pop-Tarts.
Oh, those are the best. Full.
Yeah, digging that art. That might be worth picking up just alone for the art.
Yeah, and then I may have already showed this off because I think you said I'm the only one who's still reading Astro City.
Dude, I would be all over Astro City if they would release them like as an omnibus or
The standard hardcovers suck.
Yeah, oversight. That is an excellent series. I stopped reading it like I think 5 or 6 years ago because I couldn't keep up with the out of print hardcovers, and I'm a damn OCD collector.
Right. No, I get it. I got the Seven Soldiers Omnibus, which I did an overview for on my channel.
Yeah, I saw that, man.
And Brooks, Ryland Slayton alerted our Omnibus Collectors group to this book for $10. This is an oversized Mark Schultz book, Xenozoic Tales, that I got from Flesk Publications for $10. It came with a signed card and everything by Mark Schultz, whose work I really dig. So this was a bargain. So shout out to Brooks Loves Books. That's his tagline in these things in our chat.
That guy is like, I look forward to every one of his posts.
Yeah, they're always information packed.
Did you read anything?
I read, besides Letter 44 this weekend, I read Paul Jenkins' Sidekick, which was great. And I read Heathen, which was fantastic. This was a Fangirlz Assemble recommended book. You also got 50% off it on IST as a Fangirlz special.
I think they're talking about that this weekend.
Oh, you mean yesterday or this coming Sunday?
This coming Sunday.
I will tune in because this book kicked several
I
forms
got
of
that.
ass.
I did get that. And I haven't read it yet, but I fell in love with that artwork.
I think you're going to really dig it. The story is really strong and the artwork's really strong too.
Does it portray a strong woman?
Well, since Fariha and the Fangirls recommended it, yeah.
Oh, no, not buying it then. No, it looks phenomenal. I was a big fan.
Really
Actually, you're the one that I know she recommended it to us, but you bought it a couple weeks ago and you were holding it up, and I was like, man, I don't know what is that book, because that artwork looks awesome. You sold me on the artwork alone.
Yeah, and something about Chris M's bringing it up in the chat, but I've read this before somewhere that Vault Comics apparently smell really good. The singles. There's something about the singles that smell really good. So I'd like to go into a comic book store and smell some Vault singles because they apparently have a great smell to them.
What?
I don't know. I've read it a couple places before, and Chris M's bringing it up in the
You're
chat.
smelling your singles? Man, you're weird.
I do love the smell of new books, though.
I do too.
Big fan of that.
And Gabe, you can't tell me that if it was a 90s book that had some special smell to it, you wouldn't be all over it.
Wow.
Scratch and Sniff.
Scratch and Sniff 90s book with a foil cover, you'd be like, I'll take 20.
Oh, yeah, I'm in that, dude. I'm telling you about it.
Wasn't there a Ren and Stimpy book released like that?
Yeah, it was.
That's what I thought. It was a Powdered Toast Man, maybe, like, issue.
It was written by Dan Slott, I think.
Oh, yeah. No, well, that's the Spider-Man issue with Powdered Toast Man. So, Gabe, did you pick up anything, man?
I think we lost Gabe for a sec.
I think he's readjusting his room. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all I read, and I picked up that Heathen. And
and I also hauled cereal from Funko Huckleberry Hound and Funko Freddy Krueger. It comes with pops of Huckleberry Hound and Freddy Krueger. I'm not going to eat the cereal because it's awful, but for cereal collectors, this is awesome.
What about for pop collectors?
Also awesome.
So pass.
Two collectibles smashed into one.
I'm gonna before Gabe goes, I'm gonna answer this question from the chat. Are we looking forward to the He-Man Omnibus from DC? That is a fuck yes from me. I am buying that day one.
Masters of the Universe crossovers are like Thundercats and
no, well, it's the Masters of the Universe. Everything, like everything that DC released, with art by Freddie Williams Jr., who is, like, to me, a great artist, and he's super fast. And yeah, the Thundercat issues, and I think the Justice League issues, it's huge, man. It's $150, but that's a day one buy for me.
Word.
I was a big fan of those books that were coming out.
Psycho Cleveland, I know the cereal's awful because I bought a box of
Mega Man
and tasted it, and it was horrific. And
you should do a cereal taste test on the show.
I would, but not of that cereal. It's awful. I don't
even
want
better.
It all tastes the same. It's the same cereal with just brightly colored dye in it.
Can I suggest
to make your poop turn different colors?
Just based on the small hate that you guys got from your Pop-Tarts episode, we take a break from taste testing episodes for a little bit. Just a small suggestion. Just a small suggestion.
We don't do this to get.
You need to control your blood sugar anyway.
All right, Dr. Omar.
I want Jess to be on this damn show for at least another 2 good years.
That's all.
69.
I figured at that age, you and your wife are going to travel America. So,
my wife probably wants to, but I don't.
Hey, dude, you don't have a choice. You are tied.
Well, you're probably right about that. Let's talk about my spider wall.
It's a door.
Spider door. Spider door. Spider door. Cost me 144.
I think Jess is just really showing off and just talking to Jimbo to everybody who doesn't have it.
You mean that shelf right there?
That shelf.
Oakley
We
dokley.
should do like an out of print. I know we're doing like an out of print like video pretty soon, or like a whale book. But we should probably do.
Yeah,
that.
we're. I think Geo is working on that, so you can.
Is that going to be live or just?
No, that's going to be pre-recorded, as in like just talking about books that are out of print or
just images and Geo's amazing voice.
Oh, okay, cool.
narrative.
Because me and Omar did it. It'd be just a lot of just like talking shit and bad words thrown in there.
Flip-otaku. I love that name. That's a funny thing. All my books are down here because my wife was like, okay, you have way too much shit up here. I want my own room. Take all your shit down to the basement. So that's how she reacts to it. She's great. Like, she has let me have the entire basement to myself and all my hobbies. My figures, my manga, anime, and video games are in another room. I got my own bathroom, and then I've got all my books. So I'm happy.
So Flipped Utaku asked, how do your guys' wives react to the large collection? Just so anybody
Yeah,
knows.
Gabe's so cool with it. She said, "Move it into the bedroom."
Yeah, this is our bedroom here, so I moved it down here, and I think the reason my attic was not as comfortable is because my AC doesn't really work that well. I got a guy coming out later to fix it.
Up in your attic?
Yeah, I think that's I just found out my AC doesn't work that well. I mean, it works fine, but apparently it could work better. So.
Tallulah67, Quisp is awesome. You can still get that mail order from Chicago. I think Chicago is the only area where they sell Quisp. That it is such a great. I have fond memories of Quisp as a young lad.
What the hell is Quisp?
It's a cereal. It used to be Quisp and Quake were two cereals that came out from the Captain Crunch company back in the 60s, and Quake isn't available anymore, but they do Quisp in the Midwest. And on eBay, you can get it for like $5 a box. It's really good. It tastes just like Captain Crunch.
I love Captain Crunch.
Like Virgin Captain Crunch or like peanut butter Captain Crunch?
Like, oops, all berries.
Original Captain Crunch.
The original. My bad. That's what I meant.
Virgin.
They kind of cut the roof of your mouth.
Rick Nelson actually brings up a good idea, Omar.
Mm-hmm.
In the out of print video, are you guys going to recommend alternatives? For example, instead of getting Fantastic Four Volume 1 by Hickman, get the Fantastic Four Complete Collection. Will you be doing alternatives in this video, or just saying this is out of print?
No. We have already talked about doing, like, if you can't get this, there are complete collections available of this. That's what's taking so long. Is I thought I had this list down, and then I'm like, holy shit, this is out of print too. So I'm focusing just on omnibuses right now, and eventually we want to do it where we can showcase like what's out of print, so and people know ahead of time, like if they're out of town and they find the Avengers Epic Final Threat, they're like, oh. So, somebody probably needs this in the group, or
Omnibros told me this is out of print. Yeah.
Yeah. So we want to kind of be that one place that everybody like can go to for things.
We want to be more of a reference as well for people too.
Yeah,
so.
and those aren't live videos; those are videos that have been pre-recorded, so you can watch them at your leisure.
So you will be suggesting alternatives to out of print books.
Yeah, man.
What are you going to suggest when it comes to J. Michael Straczynski's Spider-Man? Because not only are the hardcovers out of print, but now the paperbacks are going out of print.
The complete collections are out of print, but those really thin trade paperbacks you can get really cheap, though.
Ah.
Or even like the complete collections for, what is it? The Uncanny X-Force. Is it a complete collection?
Yeah, there's some complete collections.
Yeah,
Of those.
there's
Yeah,
two,
but I'm
there's
talking about
two
when the
thicker ones.
complete collections and the hardcovers are out. But you were one ahead of me. You said
Always
the
am.
thin trades.
I'm always two ahead
two
of you.
steps ahead of me. You are.
Yes, two.
You are 2 steps ahead
That's
of me.
how I live, man.
Right
Well,
there, Paula Abdul.
that was an awesome video.
It was. She danced with a cartoon cat. She was hot.
She was hot.
Yeah, back when she was still hot.
That's still. Never mind. I wouldn't turn it down.
I wouldn't want to like mess up any stitches she has in her face from plastic surgery.
I mean, I'd text you guys and let you know. I don't know if I'd post it anywhere. So let's see. Let's take it to the chat for about 10 minutes.
Let's talk about what Gabe got.
Oh, damn it. I knew I interrupted you for a reason. What'd you get, man?
All right, so
what scratch and sniff covers did you get?
All right, so speaking of, I'll skip to that real quick then. So I found the glow-in-the-dark Ghostwriter cover.
I remember that.
Yeah, this Ghostwriter 15 with a really cool head that glows in the dark.
Yeah.
I saw this at the store, and I immediately thought Omar will hate this. I'm gonna get it. What's going on the fucking show.
But I love Mark Texas.
I was waiting forever, dude. I've had this for like 2 weeks, but we didn't do hauls last week. So I was saving this just for you to show you. Glow in the dark is still fucking cool.
That I remember when that issue came out. That's the one with Blackout, right?
Yeah, Blackout, Black and White, or glow in the dark. Yeah.
And Howard Mackie. Jesus, Howard Mackie was actually a reputable writer. Actually, he's kind of hit and miss too. His Mutant X run was solid. But man, he was hated at Marvel for such a long time that there was a rumor. Do you remember that Mutants miniseries? I don't know if you guys remember this.
I remember that I got the Silver Surfer toy.
Yes. That's the Walgreens exclusive.
Yeah, homeboy from the store, a customer hooked me up with this.
So really quick, the Mutants miniseries was always credited to writer X, which was rumored to be Howard Mackie, because he was ashamed.
Oh, like the guy that did the Red Hood?
No, what's it called? Mutants. It was like a miniseries at Marvel.
Wasn't there another? I thought there was another like.
He did another thing as Writer X, and because
that was the Red Hood book, or was that? No, that was.
That's
what's his face?
Judd
That
Winnick.
was that was Brian K. Vaughan, I thought.
Oh.
Either way.
Anyway, what else did you get?
So yeah, I got the Silver Surfer toy from Walgreens, which is super badass. I can't wait for the Thing Marvel Legends figure to come out and complete that whole Fantastic Four set.
Yeah, I agree.
That's beautiful. That's great. I picked up the Marvel 2-in-1 Epic Collection.
I was so close to getting that.
Yeah, I had to get this because this is what I'm going to be doing Epic Marvel podcast on. It's going to be one of the issues in here. So, but this is great. I love the old like 2-in-1 stuff. I love the old Bronze Age.
Hold that up, man. That looks like a huge book.
It's pretty big. I mean, it's not crazy. It's Marvel feature 11 through 12, Marvel 2-in-1 1 through 19, and Marvel Team Up 47. So that's actually a lot. That's like 24 books. So that's really good and nice. That's what's nice about these Epic collections is you get a lot of book, and these things are cover price at $40. So they're easily like $20. $25 in IST. So I got that. My reads, I've been reading. This is one that everybody's been talking about lately, and I finally caught up to it. Donny Cates' Thanos. Thanos Wins, which is an epic, excellent read. It's really fun. I think we said it before on the show a few times. I know Jess did. I'm not sure if Omar did or if Ryley did, but you don't need to read anything else. You could just pick up this one little single trade paperback, which is a 6-issue trade, and you're good to go. You could just go from there, read the story, enjoy it. Some of the backup stuff in here from the annual issue, I didn't really care for because there's a lot of like super kiddie art that I'm not a fan of. Like this shit, I don't like this kind of art. Nothing, I just can't. I look at this kind of stuff and just enjoy it, especially for a Thanos-inspired storyline. But if you like this kind of stuff, that's cool. That's cool, but not for me. I immediately see that and I immediately get turned off from it. But the rest of the storyline is great. It's basically Thanos in the future. He wins. Like he has killed everybody in the universe, absolutely everybody. But there's something going on where he needs his younger self, a younger version of Thanos, to help him out. So the story is basically old Thanos sends Cosmic Ghostwriter to the past, who has a time gem to bring current Thanos to the future to help him with, his task that he has at hand. And all that leads up to a bunch of different questions. Everything is a bunch of reveals. Really fun stuff there.
Is that still an ongoing, or did it get?
It's over. It ended after Donny Cates' little run.
And then Cosmic Ghostwriter is now a thing.
Yeah, that thing I don't know what happened. That character just came out of nowhere. I would love to talk to Donny Cates again and be like, what the fuck? Did you think that was going to happen? Was this kind of somehow planned? Or was he just like a one-note joke that just ended up just,
He's written so well, that Cosmic Ghostwriter.
Yeah, it's really fun. It's really cool.
Backstory.
Well, I went to a comic shop the other day, and somebody had the first appearance up for like $15. I'm like, when the hell did this come out?
What, was it the Thanos 13?
Yeah, they had it up already, like $15. I'm not. This is Omnibus Collectors, not.
It's $125 book, Omar.
Shut up. It is not. It just came out. Quit making up prices. Just because you work okay, Mile High Comics. Just because you work at a comic book store does not mean you can make up your own prices.
It doesn't mean I can make up my own prices. And I can also tell you it's an over $100 book.
It's not. Anyway, go ahead. What else did you get?
You're ignorant.
No, because I'm not buying your shit.
So it's not mine. It's not my comic shop you went to. I also got, where's the other issue? Fuck it. Immortal Hulk. I read all the current issues for Immortal Hulk.
Oh, that's supposed to be really good.
It's really good. You could probably skip issue 3. Issue 3 sucks.
Why does it suck? It's not just like part of the story?
No, not really. And it's one of those like, I don't know if you guys can see here, but there's a million different creators on here.
Holy crap.
So it's one of those stories where it's like 4 different people's perspective on a certain event, and each person's perspective is drawn by a different artist. So it's one of those like shock to the systems every time you turn a page, because it's a different artist and it's a different drawing style and everything like that. So that kind of stuff, I can't deal with. I hate it. I don't mind there being different artists in like a trade paperback, because that 12 issues with today's output, that's hard for one artist to do. But in one book, you get like 4 or 5 different artists. Like it really turns me off. So there's that. Oh, and I picked up. I'm gonna read this. Funny, Clark Nato was talking about this in the chat. I have all the current issues for Venom. So I got 1, 2, 3, and 4 are super expensive books. These are like $20 to $40 books right now. And then number 5 just came out. So I'm gonna read these and see what's going on, see what all the hype is about.
They're good. I've read
them.
So
apparently Donny Cates is changing up the Venom storyline a lot, where the Venom symbiote is actually like this different space god kind of situation.
I think it's really interesting, and he's still, he's respecting a lot of the past, but he's doing kind of his own thing. I really dug it. Well, I've only read the first 3 issues. I haven't read 4, 5, and 6 yet. But I'm really liking that series.
Yeah, so I'm down with that kind of stuff. That's basically my hauls and reads right now.
He's quickly becoming like one of all of our favorite writers. Like it's crazy. We need to get that guy on the show. All right, thanks, Gabe. And apparently, people are saying that book is $200. A 9.8 is $200.
It's got the first appearance of Cosmic Ghostwriter.
Yeah, Raw is going for like $70. So yeah.
Nah, it's not gonna buy it.
For $15, dude, flip it for 70. That's all I'm saying.
Not much of a flipper anymore, man.
Put that towards your Megatron.
Yeah, I know. I thought about the shit I can flip now. I'm actually doing a swap meet next weekend.
Gross.
A geek swap meet. You guys don't call it that over there? A flea market?
Swap meet?
Flea market, guys. Come on.
What is this? The 1950s?
No, I know what a swap meet is.
Swap meet.
I don't know what like bazaars are or flea markets.
So the guy that runs the comic show here locally puts on he started last year, and I set up last year, and I took a bunch of the crap that I had in my garage, and I made a pretty damn decent amount of money, and I'm like, oh, let's do this again. That was a lot of fun. I hoard my show out to people, and then like got some new subscribers that way. It was really cool, and I got to meet a lot of people. People come up and they have not just vendors, but also like tables where you can trade things.
That'd be fun. I wouldn't mind putting up like my own like table and sell shit. That'd be fun.
That's what I did. It was a lot of fun, man. I just like talking to different people and the different range of people that you get during these shows, like the shy people that are scared to ask if you go down $1, especially little kids. So I was teaching little kids how to haggle, kind of like I taught Jess how to haggle. Because the kid was like, it was so cute. He was like, dude, would you take, I was asking like $10 for this figure. And he was like, would you take $9.50 for it? And I'm like, no, but I'll take $5 for it. And I'm like, let me teach you how to haggle. So it's like, you never want to go that high. You want to meet him low, but not low enough where you insult the guy. You want to go like, probably $5 is kind of safe. You got to be able to read people. Then they'll say, no, that's ridiculous. I'll sell it to you for $9. And you're like, oh man, all I got is like $6. And then the guy's like, damn it. All right, give me $7.50. You could get $7.50. It's yours. So it's really cute to teach a kid how to haggle. I'm sure he went to tell his mom and dad this creep is talking to him about money.
He's like, this old man taught me something.
Old?
Better a kid, sure.
Yeah, probably.
Welcome to the club.
I still don't have my AARP. His mom was hot, Kristan. Shut up.
Well, this would probably be a good time for me to talk about InStockTrades.com, where you can get your collected editions up to 50% off. Loyalty discounts add another 2% to that. They frequently have sales that add 3% to that. Every quarter gets you an Omnibroslive discount code. Over $50 in an order gets you free shipping in the United States. Fabulous packaging, the best service around for your customer. IST.com, InStockTrades.com.
Well done, Jess. 5 minutes left, guys.
So let's leave it up to the chat. Throw some questions.
All right.
And in the meantime, we'll just pimp out.
By the way,
episode.
I love reading these stories too about getting busy at a Burger King bathroom.
Wait, is that this Wednesday?
That's this Wednesday.
This Wednesday, we are interviewing Eric Larson.
I'm super nervous about it too. I don't know why.
Holy guacamole!
It's gonna be fun, man. That is the day after tomorrow.
Yeah, it's gonna be quick. So we need to ask him about why Savage Dragon isn't in hardcover form, and why the Savage Dragon cartoon is not on DVD or on digital or anything.
We can ask him that, yeah. So we will be shooting that episode on Wednesday at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So it'll be a lot of fun, I've interviewed him in the past. He's a really, really nice dude, down to earth. And yeah, they're definitely going to ask him, because I'm not sure exactly how much these guys probably know about the collected edition side of things.
Well, the Savage Dragon, I'm sure that has to all go through him one way or the other.
I mean, I would think so.
I think I know the answer, but we'll just let him answer it. It's not my place to answer. But yeah, so that'll be Wednesday. Eric Larson, one of the founding members of Image Comics, huge Kirby fan, and has a massive, massive, massive Kirby original art collection too.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
So I'm going to ask him about that because those artist editions that come out, they did 2 or 3 Commandy Jack Kirby artist editions. And I think volumes 2 and 3 were all from Eric Larson's collection.
Wow.
So I'm going to ask him about that.
That'll be way interesting. I wonder if we could get him to show some of it.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. Hey, can you crack open one of those cases you have back there and show us your art?
I think literally he has it just lying around.
What's really sad is years ago, like right after he founded Image, there was a huge fire where he lost a lot of his original artwork. So a lot of the things, like the first appearance of Savage Dragon and the Megaton comics and all that was lost in a fire. Like when I can't
ask him
remember
about that. That'd be interesting.
No, I don't want to ask him about the pressing shit like that.
Yeah, no.
Oh damn. Sorry, you're asking what his favorite Pop-Tart flavor is then.
That will be my first question. I love it.
He's gonna be like, "Who the fuck is this guy? Do you even know who I am? I am Eric Larson."
I'm gonna ask him what kind of razors he uses for his head because you got the same haircut. No, nothing. Okay.
No, nothing. I got nothing.
Right.
So, anything from the chat? If not, this is a good time to end it.
Okie dokie. Omar, where can they find you on the internet?
On the internet, you can find me on my channel called Near Mint Condition, and we usually have a show every Thursday, but we do a live show Tuesday nights. Every other
Is that
Tuesday
tomorrow
night.
night?
So tomorrow night we will be talking about the Jeff Johns run of Aquaman. It's called Old Reader, New Readers. So it's me and two lovely ladies where we talk about comic books. So join us. We have an Instagram and a Twitter too. That's Near Mint Condition. What about you, Gabe the Babe? Where can they find you, my man?
All right, everybody can find me basically here on the Omnibus Collectors Network. Omnibus Collectors Network, you can find us also on Instagram. We have an Instagram account. You can find me on Instagram as Gabe Infinity Watch. So there you go. That's basically, you can find me, and I'm spending a lot more time on our social media as well, trying to get our footprint out there more. And no, Psycho Cleveland Epic Marvel Podcast is not like bullpen bulletins. It's actually a really cool interview show. So yeah, check that out. And Eric the Midget, just because Psycho Cleveland keeps talking about Howard Stern in the chat. So you guys know I did block the word Howard Stern from being entered into the chat. Just out of
You're an asshole. That poor guy. What about you, Jess? Where can they find you, my good
You
man?
can find me on Omnidog's Vault on YouTube, and you can find me on Instagram, Omnidogs_Vault. So, on behalf of my friends Omar and Gabe, thank you, chat. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe. Please watch us Wednesday night when we talk to the amazing Eric Larson. This is going to be exciting. And Clark Nato, PM me. I have a book for you. So, everybody, good night. Peace and love. Peace and love.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody. We never landed on the moon. That was fake.